KOMU 8 Sports.
MU football's opponent tonight, Eastern Michigan, isn't the toughest of challenges on paper for the Tigers. However, the Eagles scored 61 points last week in their victory against Mississippi Valley State. Eastern Michigan ran for 801 yards against the Delta Devils, which could be an interesting storyline to follow at Road tonight. That's because in last week's loss to West Virginia, Mizzou allowed 241 yards on the ground to the Mountaineers and 2 rushing scores. Players like Charles Harris and Josh Augusta were kept quiet by West Virginia, and Eastern Michigan hopes to do that tonight if the Eagles have a chance of beating Mizzou. Kickoff for the game is coming up just shortly. It's on ESPNU now, not SC Alternate Network, so make sure programming note there to turn on ESPNU for the game. More Mizzou athletic news. The Mizzou men's and women's basketball teams held a free basketball clinic today at Douglas Park for Columbia area youth. The Tigers players ran drills with the kids working on technical skills such as dribbling, passing, and shooting. The free event drew kids from a range of ages and offered them a chance to meet some of their favorite athletes. Although it was much more or less work than play for kids and players. Mizzou women's basketball recruiting director Willie Cox says events like this are important for the kids and the players.
I think it's one of those deals where it's a day that they'll remember, okay? They get a chance to meet and greet the players. Then when they see them in action on the basketball court, it really builds a relationship.
Mizzou volleyball also today played a doubleheader against BYU and Boise State. They lost to BYU, but beat Boise State in the Idaho State Invitational. Moving on to the Cardinals, they entered tonight's game against Milwaukee a half game behind the New York Mets for the second wild card spot and in need of all the wins they can get. The Redbirds belted two two-run homers last night to give them a 4-3 win over the Brew Crew, but gained no ground since the Mets came back late to defeat the Braves. Adam Wainwright's on the bump for St. Louis today as he looks to win his first home start since July 16th. The game just started in St. Louis. We'll have full highlights for you on KOMU 8 News at 10. The other Missouri team, the Royals, also started just about a half hour ago against the Chicago White Sox. The Royals have fared well against the White Sox so far this year, posting a 9-4 record against the Southsiders. Kansas City looks to get to Chicago starter James Shields, who was only 3-10 since being traded to Chicago from San Diego in June. We'll have those highlights at 10 as well. And that's sports.